Hey, welcome back, Community Focus. This is Kenny Fogle here with you today, and we got AJ Lewis here. AJ, you're with the Nelson County Sheriff's Department, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, appreciate, first of all, you being here. I really do appreciate you being here. And I know one of the things, before we even get into this, I mean, we had a conversation, and I've been following you a little bit on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
And I know somebody called you a hero, and somebody else gave you a certificate, and we had AJ Lewis Day a few days ago.
Yes, sir.
And one of the first things you said, you're not a hero.
No,
But you meet all the qualifications. That's the trouble.
Yeah.
When we look for heroes, we're looking for somebody that's out there that's protecting people and saving people's lives, and you're doing all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, before we go into what you do on a daily basis, let's talk a little bit about what's brought all this on lately. Now, about a week or so ago, you were over New Haven at a fire, right?
Yes, sir. Had a welfare check over in New Haven at the apartments on 5th Street.
Uh-huh.
And I got there and I heard the smoke alarm going off, but I didn't smell any smoke at that time. And I made contact with the neighbor, and while talking to him, I smelled smoke, and he advised me that she was been there for almost an hour. And I kicked in the door, and
I've always wanted to do that, but I don't know if I could or not. You're a pretty big guy.
It took a few times. But after I got the door kicked in, that's when the smoke, dark smoke, come out, and it was actually pretty scary. But I told the neighbor to call 911 and get his family out, and then that's when I went in and pulled her out of the.
Now you had to have a minute there or so when that dark smoke come out, thinking, "Am I going into this or am I not going into this?" I mean, or is that something just instinctively you just went in?
I guess he told me that she was in there and smoke alarm is going off, so I'm thinking she's in there, I have to get her out.
Yeah.
So there's no time, fire department and things like
Now,
that.
was she conscious when you went in there, or was
She was unconscious at the time, and our radios, they're getting them fixed at this time, but I couldn't get out on my radio to get the fire department to come quicker. But after I went in, I grabbed her and pulled her out, got her to the hallway to get fresh air, and then I pulled the smoke alarm. Then got to my car and told dispatch to start the fire department. And after I did that, I went back up and I threw her over my shoulder and took her outside and got everybody else out. And went back in with my fire extinguisher and gas mask. Gas mask is from the flex team that I'm on. And it was better than nothing.
Did you ever think you'd use that thing?
We used it one time and it was rough that time. But it was like OC spray and things like that. But this time, it helped a little with the smoke, but I didn't have it fully on, so I was still breathing in the smoke. So, but it was.
Had you been trained for something like this, or is this just something that you say, "Hey, it's got to be done," I'm the only one here to do it?
Yeah, it was basically one of those like it needs to be done, and usually we train for like other scenarios and stuff like that, but I didn't get that scenario that day, so I had to do what I had to do. So.
Well, like I said, I know a couple days ago, the fiscal court recognized you, AJ Lewis Day in Nelson County, and that's appropriate. But it takes something like this to, the reason I want to bring you on here tonight, and use the word it is hard to use the word hero because I know you're a very modest individual, but. People need that inspiration. People need to know that we have law enforcement out there. We have people out there like you that are doing this work every day. It's not just when the big stuff happens. Every day you're out doing something like this.
Exactly, and that's one thing, like you said, it's a lot of the officers that I work with, we deal with this things all the time. It's just most of the time it goes probably unrecognized.
Right.
And, we just take it and we go, and it's part of our job is protect and serve, and it's one thing that my dad has been getting on me about. Do your job, be there for the community and things like that. So
well, you never know. Like I said, you pull a car over, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
You go on a welfare check. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything dramatic or anything to come out of it.
Right.
But the next thing you know, you're dragging somebody through smoke and going to the hospital. So
yes, sir.
it's a job that. Why do you want to be a police officer?
I've been wanting to be a police officer since I was little because my dad, he's actually in law enforcement. He's the assistant chief of Barstown, and he's been doing it for 26 years now. So seeing him do that and hearing what people would come up and tell me, like, positive things about my dad, saying they really like him, and I'm thinking I want to be like him when I grow up. And he tried to steer me from being in law enforcement. He tried to, say do something better or something like that, like federal or things like that. But I just always wanted to be a cop and do what he does and get acknowledged like he does. And stuff.
Well, it's tough, obviously. As you mentioned, you could have went off doing something at the federal level, but you're here every day and you're dealing with people. A lot of them you probably know, friends and neighbors. I mean, and that's got to be rewarding in some ways because you're helping them, but it's got to be rough in some ways when somebody may be committing a crime or something, and you got to stop that.
Yes, sir. It is rough, and I grew up with a lot of people, knowing a lot of people, and just luckily I only dealt with that a few times, but they knew I had to do my job, and they understood and knew that what they did was wrong. But it's surprising sometimes.
Yeah.
But.
Well, this incident in New Haven where you did all this. Now, what does this do for you? Does this give you a little more enthusiasm? Does this wake you up a little bit and say, maybe I'm getting the day was getting a little dull. I needed something like this to energize me, or you're just the same today as you were yesterday?
Just same. I just treat it as another day, and we get extreme calls sometimes and very stressful situations, but that's one thing we just deal with it and we just go on. But I don't see what I did, anything as a hero, but just another call for us.
You did your job, and
Yes, sir.
Protect and serve, and you protect, and this lady owes her life. I mean, but probably if you weren't there, or you hadn't done what you done, more than likely she wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, most likely, but God put me in the right place at the right time, so happy about that.
Well, and we're all happy about it too. That's why I wanted to have you on here today to let people know that you and others. I mean, like I said, that could have been one of many other police officers. I'm sure you're pretty confident that just about any police officer that showed up today would have done what you done.
Oh yeah, yes sir. I was talking to several of the deputies, and they was like, that's probably a rough situation. And I told them, I was like, you would have done the same thing if you was in my shoes. Probably took them a little longer to kick down the door, but they would have done it. So
yeah, I can see that. I'd still be over there kicking on that door right now, probably.
Yes,
But yeah, that's the kind of stuff we see on television all the time, all these crime shows. But you don't think if it's going on right here in Nelson County. But again, right. I'm sure you see a lot of things that goes on every single day that most of us don't see. Whether it's a welfare check or domestic violence, or whether it's a serving papers to somebody that you probably just don't want to serve papers to.
Yes, all the time, and but it's our job, and we have to do it as well.
So you see yourself doing this for a little while longer?
Yes, I do. I would like to go to the federal level, but I'm working on eventually going back to school and then finishing up on my degree, and. I like to do U.S. Marshals or ATF, things like that. But I would like to be, home, like near Louisville.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Louisville Cardinal fan. So.
Oh, we won't hold that against you.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I like to get there one day, but it's just going to take some time.
Well, I understand.
Day by day.
Well, like I said, we do appreciate what you're doing here. And I know you're a humble individual, and you get embarrassed when anybody uses the word hero, but I'm going to certainly call you that today. And I think most people listening in today, watching today, is going to feel the same way and know that you might just be doing your job, but it's a job that I'm not doing and most people out there are not doing. And we thank God that you and others are doing what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I thank you for that. And, it's not made for everybody, but I guess they say you choose the job, but sometimes the bad chooses you and things like that. But I'm thankful to be in law enforcement. I always wanted to, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and as being there for the people of Nelson County and things like that.
Well, I wish you all the best, and I hope you just keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right, well, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here. A.J. Lewis, the Nelson County Sheriff's Department, and A.J. is our hero of the day, and we appreciate all he's doing, and appreciate all the law enforcement, firefighters, EMS, and everybody else that's out there putting their life on the line. And obviously, it's not money that motivates you.
No.
It's a protecting and serving, and again, we thank God we have people like you out there.
I appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you. Appreciate you for being here. Thanks
Thank-
a lot.
thank
And
you
thank
for
you
having
for tuning in. We're going to stick around. We've got a lot more to come on Channel 6 TV, Community Focus. Kenny Fogle here. Take care, everybody.